Mayang buntag! Hey, it's Sunday morning. Welcome back to my Filipino adventure. My lazy Sunday morning is kicking back. We're having a windstorm today. Supposedly having a windstorm. And we'll see how it goes. Right now it's not really windy. A little bit. But they say it could cause damage and knock power lines out, so I figured I'd get this done now in case we lose power. So anyway, so this is going to be part 3, I guess. My last rant. Just wrap this up once and for all. And I think I did something very similar to this in one of my earlier videos. I think this is video number 92. I forget what video, but we'll just revisit it, and it kind of goes with should I. Actually, could even be part 4. It starts with should I send my Filipina's family money, and then there's a bunch of responses. Some good, some bad. Should I send my Filipina money? And then I got this kind of upset like a lot of the comments, and I said, why all the Filipina bashing? So, and then this is going to be number 4. Let's just tie this up, and it's called "What Are You Afraid Of?" So, do you want to? I'm going to guess, and looking over my stats here, that I'd say the biggest portion of my viewers are guys in their 50s, like me. Hey, how you doing? And I'm going to guess that the majority of them are divorced and single, or divorced and in a relationship with a Filipina, or divorced and remarried, or married to a Filipina. That's why you come to my channel, for the most part. So, and then the rest are people saying either that they got burned in a relationship, or for some reason they just think, and this will go back to the bashing video, that that they're just after your money. And this one guy actually even put on there, oh, absolutely, she'll leave you for a younger guy. So let's go over a few things and why I'm not afraid. And what are you afraid? I'm not afraid. For one, I think I picked an age-appropriate Filipina. I'm 54, but I'm a young 54. I'm a cool dude, I hope. She's 35. She's not 21. She's not 19. She's got an 18-year-old daughter. She's a mature woman. She's not a kid. She knows what she wants. She comes from a very poor province, and she's got very strong set of morals. She's religious, which I am not, which hopefully that won't cause much of a problem. I gave her space for that, as long as we talked at the beginning. Don't put all that on me, and I won't, don't force me to go to church or anything. So there we go. So I found an age-appropriate woman. Now, I think the majority of failed relationships are people who are going way too young. There's a maturity level. And listen, it's hot and sexy, who would want a 19-year-old girl sleeping next to your old wrinkled fat body? I mean, it's sexually, it's interesting, but how long does that last? Especially at our age, how long is that going to last? That wears off. So there's got to be more to it than just sex and looks fade. So sure, I think Yna is a beautiful, sexy woman, but like I said, she's age appropriate to me. 18 years is not that big of a stretch. My last girlfriend before this, American girl, I think she was 42. So that was a 12-year difference. And I have a friend. I had a friend who was just a friend who would visit once in a while, and I think she was in her mid-30s or so. So it's not that unheard of. Now, I don't date any 20-year-olds. I have a 23-year-old son. I couldn't date someone my son's age. Plus, I don't want to raise my girlfriend. I don't want to raise her like she's my kid. I don't want to have to teach her about everything and wait for her to mature. And they already tend to be kind of jealous and a little touchy emotionally. So get yourself one a little bit more age appropriate, is my opinion. That's anything wrong. If you want, If you wanted a real young one, that's up to you. But for me, I think it's better to have an age appropriate. Number two, I think, is you got to treat them right. I talked to a lot of the Filipinas who are living here in the States. I said, well, how did you get here? And she says, well, I married an American, but we got divorced. And my first question is, why? What happened? She's not a maid with benefits. She's not your slave. Just because they have this aura of being subservient and docile and, very attentive to your needs, do not take advantage of that. They're not going to be your slaves. Treat them as equals. Include them in everything. This one lady said that her husband was always, I think it was on my page, she made a comment that he was always traveling. You do that, they're going to get bored and they're going to, they have needs, they're going to leave. If you're a drunk or abusive, they're only take that for so long. And maybe in the Philippines, they'd put up with it a little bit more because it's so hard to get a divorce. But here in the States, I'm not saying they have the upper hand, but definitely don't treat them like you would any other person or like if you were an American girl or a Filipino girl. Treat them the same. Because they'll walk. Marriages work. So that's why I'm not afraid. Because I'm not afraid to put the work in. I always tell Yna, she asked me permission for everything. I was going to go do this. Is it okay? And she's over in the Philippines. I said, you don't have to ask me. As long as you're not killing somebody or cheating on me, you don't have to ask me anything. You can tell me, let me know what's going on, but you don't need my permission. I want you to be happy. And that's the other thing too is, you can be sour about a relationship going bad and then go on the internet and just spew hate that they're a bunch of, gold digging and they're all going to leave you and this is all that happens. But if they do, I look at it this way too. I bring a lot to the table. So if she's not happy with me, she wants to, we're married for a couple of years and it's not working out and she wants to leave, I'll be fine. I'll rebound. And if she's really not happy and I do really care for her, wouldn't I want her to be happy? Wouldn't I want her to go live her life and be happy? Even if that doesn't include me. If you truly, truly, truly love someone, you'll look out for them before you will yourself. A lot of this stuff says more about you than it does about them. There's a lot of this id and ego involved in this. Also, now, I'm not going to go on and on and on about this because there's really not a whole lot of points to be made about this. But I'm searching the internet, searching for success rates or rates of marriages between Filipinos and all we can go by pretty much is anecdotal stories that we hear on the internet and when you talk to people. Now, it's funny, yesterday when I was at the Filipinas restaurant, she said she's got one customer, this American guy, she says 3 times he brought over a Filipina and she left him. 3 times. Which I'm a little hazy on, because from what I read, you can only get a K1 visa twice. That's it. So how we got 3, I don't know. And so she said this time he just married one in the Philippines. He bought a house there, and then he flies back and forth. He'll spend like summers or winters there, and summers he comes back. But she's got to stay there. And I said, well, that's not much of a marriage, is it? She said, no, it's not. And why did they leave him? Did he get young, super, super young girls, or did he not treat them well? Because if you treat them well, they're going to stick around. I'm telling you, trust me. So anyway, back to I'm searching the internet for stats, and all I can find is hearsay. People saying, this one guy even says that 97% of marriages between Americans and Filipinos end in divorce. 97%, this guy's full of shit. There's no information to back that up. But this is from 20 years ago. According to the data supplied by the U.S. Census Bureau, there was 2.4 million marriages in the U.S. in the 12 months ending in June 1997. I can't find anything more recent than that. Now, out of that, 1.15 million divorces in the same period. Okay? And they say back then 4,000 to 6,000 marriages involved international services or international marriages, which is a tiny portion, about 0.2%. Okay, now, so that looks around a little less than 50% in a divorce. People say, well, you can't count that because it doesn't mean you get married and divorced in the same year. No, but as the big picture, if 2.4 get married and every year, and then every year 1.3 get divorced, then, and if it's an ongoing thing, you can say it's a 50% or so. So it's interesting to note that based largely on the data provided the agencies themselves, along with the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, reported marriages arranged through services. I don't know if that means arranged marriages or dating sites. I don't know. But it appeared to have a much lower divorce rate than the nation as a whole. A full 80% of these marriages have lasting over the years. They don't say how many years, over the years. So does 2 years count, 3 years count? So 80%. So that means 80% success rate compared to 50% success rate. I can't back this up. This is just a post I'm reading, which was supposedly from the USCIS homepage. Okay. The divorce rate for American men who marry American women is 57% officially, but since the figures from several states, including California, are excluded because they say the true national divorce rate is likely closer to 65%, the divorce rate in California is over 70%. Maybe that's Hollywood for you, huh? I don't know. The divorce rate, American men who marry foreign women, is approximately 20%. So you can marry American women and have close to a 2/3 chance of getting divorced, and marry a foreign woman and have at least a 75% chance of success. I think those numbers might be a little skewed, but I'll cite them because they back up what I'm saying. But if you know, if there is some actual stats that I can see, if they're with me or against me, I'm totally open to them. So anyway, so I'm going to wrap that up. So my point is, what are you afraid of? Do you want to sit on your couch and grow like a mushroom and just say bah humbug, or do you want to get out there and live life again? And protect yourself, get to know them. Annulments, I'll protect my income. I didn't work this hard just to give all my money away. So I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to get a prenuptial agreement. And when she gets over here, we're going to live together right up to the last day before we get married, just to make sure. But I'm going to get out there and take a risk and live my life. I think it might be worth it. And if it doesn't, what am I going to do? Lock myself in the house again and start all over? Or cry like a baby? So what are you afraid of? Put it in the comments. Here at the end here, go ahead, there's a subscribe. If you haven't, please subscribe. We need about 150 more to get 1,500. And here's a couple other videos. Let's do the part 1 and 2 of this one. So, all right, so stay cool, stay civil, and stay classy.